So it's the last week of the NFL season, and I didn't win back-to-back Pickem titles. Kind of sucks. Really thought after last year going into this year that I'd be able to make it back-to-back potentially and whatnot. But as you can see from the standing, I mean, I was bottom of the totem pole, dead last. By the way, I'm setting up another light too, so you don't see that basically that's coming up with my arm. But no, I basically was in dead last. Almost had no chance to do anything with the year. And although I didn't win a week, as here I'll go show you real quick. As you can see from last week, I wasn't winning regardless, but now because I got a three-way tie for first, and I ended up second to him again. So big pain, but yeah, overall, like, I mean, as you can see, I didn't have the worst pick year. I mean, I wasn't the best out of everyone, obviously, but there was a few times I going for underdogs, too, towards the end, and I just, yeah. Wasn't that bad of a year, though, as you can see. I mean, I'll take 153 and 101. It's just last year I went 179 and 92, so you compare those two numbers, I kind of did butt cheeks. But, going into this week, basically just showing some of these games. I don't know where I want to lean yet. There's a few games where it's like I'm not 100% sure if people are going to be starting or not. And with it being the last week of the year, I mean, I basically have no shot of getting first. But there's a chance that I can win a week and, like I said, not go a whole year without winning a week. Because so far, sadly, I don't know how it happened, but I'm the only person who hasn't won a week so far this year in our family. So, of our families and friends that do it. So, yeah. Pretty awesome. Basically, like I said, going into this week, there's a few games I'm indifferent about. There's a few games that, like, I'm not sure who's going to be playing, who's not going to be playing, and by the way, I'm setting up this light if you're wondering what I'm doing. But yeah, it's just a little weird. I'm not for sure like who's going to be playing, who's going to be doing what. So as you can see now, I have another light I need to put behind me, obviously. But as you can see, the new light, we don't get that bad of the green screen effect. So this is awesome now because I've been waiting for this to set up something else because now here soon, hopefully, I can start changing some different backgrounds and everything. But now that we're good and done messing around and everything, I'm going to go through. So Kansas City, this is going to be rapid fire too because I'll get into more if you want to go to the betting portion of this. But Kansas City, they're going to play for the 1 seed. They're probably going to play a lot of their guys. I just like Jacksonville personally to beat Tennessee after how bad Tennessee's finished their year. Jacksonville's the hottest team and compared to them, so they should be doing something. This is a game where, I mean, Tampa Bay probably sits some guys maybe, but I'm going to pick Atlanta because why not? I do think Tampa's probably going to end up sitting some guys, so I think if anything, I mean, maybe Atlanta inks it out towards the end, but this is a game, like, betting-wise, staying away for sure. Going to pick Buffalo just simply because of the DeMar Hamlin situation. Speaking of which, it sounds like he's doing a lot better. Sounds like he's writing, or he's grabbing his family members' hands. He's writing to doctors since he has a tube down his throat. But it sounds like he's well and moving, and brain activity looks good and everything. So awesome moment for the kid. Really love to hear that. And now his charity too has reached over like $6 million as of yesterday when I looked. So overall, I mean, I'm just really happy for the kid, man, because he went through something beyond scary that I don't wish upon anyone. So going through now the rest of these games, this is going to be another game where they're playing for the 2 seed, potentially, so I'm going to say they're going to, at least minimum first half, they're going to play their guys, and Justin Fields has already been ruled out, so I'm not picking Chicago. Baltimore, Cincy, going to pick Cincy here. Basically, this game's for the division, so based off the, oh yeah, speaking of which, now that we're here, it was basically, like, right before I went on, it was just announced that they aren't making up the Bills-Bengals game, so it's just basically either void or no contest, I'm sure. I don't know how it's going to look in the record books for each team. I'm assuming, like, no contest, so it's just not going to show up. But when it comes to, like, implications due to the seeding and everything, we'll see with that when it comes next week, honestly. Indianapolis, I'm going to just pick them then the year, right? There's no way Houston wins, because if Houston wins, then they don't get the first pick, I'm pretty sure. So, Miami, New York, I really don't know what this game is. I'm going to put Miami as my 1 point. I really don't know. I mean, they're assuming they won't be able to scoreboard watch too much since they'll be playing with they'll be playing at the same time as the Patriots, so they won't be able to scoreboard watch. But basically, Patriots win, they're in. Dolphins win, Patriots lost, they're in. And I'll skip over this game real quick, but Steelers win with both those teams losing, so I'm simply just picking teams who have the most to play for, basically, when it comes to this week. So, for example, like Carolina, New Orleans, this is just the rules. Fade Andy Dalton. So, I used to love Andy Dalton back in the day when he played for the Bengals and everything, but ever since then, he's kind of been a little shaky. He had his moments with the Cowboys where he's all right, but we fade Andy Dalton around here now. So, Denver, LA, I assume LA is going to play because I think they have a small chance to get like the 5th seed if they aren't there already, or if they win, they keep the 5th seed. And in the AFC, you probably want the 5th seed because you play Jacksonville or Tennessee. So, Philly, New York. I'm only gonna pick Philly because they're playing for the 1 seed, and there's rumors like the Giants will play their guys just for the momentum because they're gonna play the Eagles again anyway. But I don't know. It's a big spread game. I assume that they'll at least play their guys. I want to say a half minimum, but I don't know how the Giants are going to operate now because there are some guys who could use a little bit of rest here and there. But so we're just going to pick Philly. We're going to roll with it. San Fran, Arizona. San Fran's playing for the 2 seed. Going to pick them. This is where I'm going to go a little off the wall. I'm going to pick LA. Just like last week where I said that Commanders were going to lose so the Packers and Lions could matter. There's another situation where the NFL, they're making a phone call to Pete Carroll. They're like, hey, Pete Carroll, we gonna throw that game for you. But no, honestly, I think the Rams, weird as it sounds, they have just as much to play for the Seahawks because the Rams don't get a pick at all. So this is a really good game to like evaluate some talent and evaluate who they want to keep on their roster. So I'm just thinking that like they're gonna play mostly everyone, I want to say, and they're gonna play hard. And Seattle's just been sketchy, man, and injuries racked up a little bit, and so this is a spot where I like them Rams a little bit, and I already spent way longer on this game than I should have, so we're just going to move right along. Dallas, we're just going to pick them. They're starting. Sam Howell, I think is his name, rookie. Good luck to him. Not going to pick them, and I got to go Green Bay. They've just been the hottest team lately, and just overall, as much as I do like the Lions, and I want to pick the Lions, I just don't know if I can do that to myself, honestly. I love it. This is a situation where as much as like I want to bet the Lions, this will be probably where I root for the Lions. I'm probably going to root for the Lions, but not pick the Lions. Simply, like, best way to put it basically is I'm just picking for these tiebreakers. It doesn't really, the score one matters more than this one really does, so I'm just randomly picking that. But like I was saying, it's one of those things where it's like I can sleep better with myself at night knowing I picked the Packers and I did with the Lions. So I'm just gonna pick the Packers, and yeah. So basically, that's my picks for the weeks. There's really, I won't even lie to you, there's barely any. There was little thought into the numbers. I just started like kind of just picking based on how whatever, because yeah, like I said, the season. We'll try to go for the season, but to get the season right, I need to get the games right anyway. So we're just gonna leave that how it is, and yeah, basically. Basically now that we're gonna go basically. This is what I'm thinking for NFL touchdown bet wise. So going forward with this series, I'm basically gonna turn this into a betting show. When March Madness comes around, it'll be a lot more structured. But honestly, since this is my first year, kind of like laying out the betting platform, I don't mind baseball, but like I'm not gonna talk much baseball because I don't know much about it, and I'd just be a fool to be giving you guys advice. So in college basketball, I know a little bit. I have a guest that I hopefully will be able to bring on. He has no idea, but just with how things are gonna be working out here soon, it kind of makes sense that he should come on. And he's a bit more of a basketball expert than me, so it'll be fun to talk basketball with him occasionally here and there, assuming schedules work out. And then yeah, like I said, like I know basketball a little bit, but but this will basically become more of a betting show. For the rest of NFL playoffs, I think it's going to be strictly NFL only. So that way it gives me a little bit of time while NFL finishes up. I can focus a little on college basketball and try to find some stuff there as well. So basically, yeah, going into the 2 Saturday games, I don't know if I like the Chiefs spread necessarily, but I think the Chiefs will win for sure because they need to get the 1 seed, but I don't know for sure if they'll cover because 10's a lot. This last game was 30-29, so especially how Jarrett Stidham played last game, I would almost lean Charger spread, but yeah, I would probably lean Charger spread. But like I said, I think they're gonna win. When it comes to props, by the way, I'm just trying to do this to see who's playing. When it comes to touchdown scores this game, Devontae Adams and Stidham looked like they had a good connection, so I'd probably go there. Jared McKinnon, he's on NBA Jam rules. He scored 3 or 4 weeks in a row, something like that. So he's an automatic put him on the bet slip no matter what. Pacheco scored last week as well. So, and Devontae Adams did as well. I think Darren Waller also scored last week as well. So a lot of repeating guys there. And the only issue with the Chiefs offense is like the way I thought it was, it used to be Travis Kelce was the one who was the for sure touchdown, then everyone else is kind of like a here and there. It's to the Chiefs now. It's to the point where you might as well flip a coin and see the coin has a better chance of telling you who's going to score than I do, it feels like sometimes, because they've been moving around so much. But like I said, Jerick McKinnon, he scored a lot of weeks in a row. I like him as of right now. Also, too, I'm not going to go through every game. I'm going to go through the games that I think matter personally, and I'm going to go through the games that I'm going to be betting on. I'm not going to show just stuff I'm not going to do. So, by the looks of this as well, it looks like Brandon Bolden's going to get some touches for the Raiders, which is interesting. But so yeah, the best definitely odd wides. I'm probably going to be taking Devontae Adams, Jerick McKinnon. If anything, I'd probably wait for Travis Kelce to get plus money. But another thing too, if you don't feel like betting the Raiders, this is something I'm going to recommend for the rest. I don't know how well it's going to work in playoffs, but the last few weeks of the NFL season, I've basically been sitting. I've been sitting, and I just wait till half. And if it's a team I like, I would. Yeah, what I was going to say is basically just like wait for. Just like for example, last few weeks I've been waiting for like teams. They'll be down at half, and for some reason, like the Bengals. Bengals were up 22-0 at half. Patriots cover back half. So it's something where I'm going to say all these games. Look at the spread at halftime. If you're an NFL fan and you're enjoying it, look at all the spreads about the time at halftime, and if there's something you like, I would recommend taking it, because I'm noticing a trend a little bit more where it's like the sports books have been a little bit generous with that number they give you. So, well, back to this game before I finish that thought. Basically, I like Devontae Adams and Jerick McKinnon to continue to score. Jerick McKinnon's been elite inside the red zone, and I'm gonna wait for Travis Kelce to get plus money, and I want to take him again this week, but I've stood on my pedestal with him and just been getting stabbed in the back by him. So I'm hoping playoffs he goes on a tear, and that's what he's going to be waiting for. But yeah, for the most part, that's what I'm thinking. Like I said, back to the spreads part. So, like, for example, this Jags-Titans game is going to be very interesting. So, like, say the Jags are up 14-0 at half. I will almost guarantee, like, personally, I would want to bet whatever the Titans spread is, because usually the trend is, like, in the second half, teams have been doing a little bit better covering that halftime spread, especially if it's, like, the dogs, because the dogs get the number a lot quicker than the favorites. So that's the biggest thing. That's another thing, too, is, like, look for those special dogs. Because there's, like I said, the Patriots last 2 weeks ago against the Bengals, where it was 22-0 at half. I think their spread was, like, for them to cover, like, 20 or something like that. Like, it was something ridiculous. Or even I, of course, I hate the Patriots, so I'm not going to take it. I'm like, I was like, that feels like a bit much. But there's no way they come back right and then they come back. So that's just something to keep in mind with, like, all these games, especially in the playoffs. If there's a team you like and they go down, and they're down at half, I would recommend jumping on that number. But going to this game, touchdown scores, I'm picking Jacksonville money line. Will they cover? No clue, honestly. Like, this being a divisional game, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. I personally think Jacksonville will win, but I am a bit nervous that if they'll win or not. I don't got much for this game, honestly. I mean, I like Derrick Henry to score for the odds, but the way the Titans move the ball on offense with Dobbs, it wasn't too bad, honestly. So another week, maybe he'll do a little bit better. I like Derrick Henry to score. I like ETN to score. Something sneaky, if they get in the goal line and they run it once or twice, if they're close enough, Trevor Lawrence might get in, so that might not be a bad one. But overall, I'd probably say Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne, and Christian Kirk would probably be my 3 go-tos. Dark horse, Trevor Lawrence to score, but this is one of those things where I'm probably going to take these 2. And if even that, like, I'm just going to have to see. I'll be honest, those are probably going to be the 2 I'm going to take, but when it comes to live, I just I'm just trying to think. I don't know. I won't even lie to you. My mouse died, so I lost all my train of thought there. So, yeah, I like Jaguars. Like Derrick Henry. Like Travis Etienne. On the ground and the air. Kind of like Christian Kirk. That's about where it ends for me. So going through Dolphins, Jets. I do like the Dolphins for the odds right there. So I'm probably going to sprinkle a little bit of Dolphins. But Teddy Bridgewater has a dislocated finger. I don't know what's going on with him or not. So I mean, this is a game where it's like the Jets have nothing to play for, but they can't spoil the Dolphins' playoff chances. The Dolphins have a chance to go to the playoffs. So it's like I feel like the Dolphins have a bit more to play for there, and I know they don't have someone. So I'm probably going to jump on this line while it's plus 100. I would say if Dolphins, I'm gonna bet Dolphins until they become favored. If they get anything above like -1, like 15, -120, I'm staying away. Because at that point, there's not as much value as I like in it. Steelers, and also for people scoring this game, I don't even know who's gonna be quarterback, so I have no suggestions at all. Steelers, they score 1 touchdown a game, so unless it's a Sunday night, I'm not gonna give you anything there. But I do like the Steelers to win. Probably gonna lean the 2.5 because I mean. Cleveland Browns are bad. I feel like they've treated all this season like it's the Deshaun Watson preseason, so they're trying to like just get him acclimated to the offense. He's been doing better week by week, but this is like what I'm saying, where it's like I feel a lot comfortable losing money with the Pittsburgh Steelers than I do the Cleveland Browns. So I'm probably gonna lay the two. I'll probably lay the 2.5. I mean, I think Pittsburgh could definitely win by a field goal. Their defense is pesky. The only issue is like the AFC North games are dirty and disgusting to begin with, so. If I can get value on the money line before I can get the 2.5, like I would say anything minus. I would say anything minus 1. If this goes down to basically like 1, I would say 25 or below. I love the value on it. If it's around like 130, I would just probably stick with the 2.5 at that point. But yeah, in that game, I just like the Steelers. Naj scored last week. The game winner. Cleveland's run defense is alright. I honestly have no touchdown scores for you in this game really either. And the issue is too, it's week 18. I don't know who's playing for who has like it. So it's like it's a little bit harder. So take all my touchdown scores with a pinch of salt this week. We'll have to come back next week with a little bit better, when everyone comes back and they're playing all their players. Like I told you, Falcons are favored? I mean, you saw my pick thing. They say they were dogs, but then when I looked at this, I thought it was at plus 210. Like, my eyes got big. And, yeah. Staying away. Like I said, I don't think the Bucs are going to play anyone, but you won't see me laying 4.5 with the Falcons or minus 210 on the money line. I'll probably take Panthers here. I don't mind the points. But personally, if I'm going to bet them, I'm probably just going to bet them to win at this point because fade Andy Dalton season. But I definitely don't mind 3.5 points. My personal rule for dogs is there's like what is it? I will when it comes. I guess my betting rule when it comes to football is I will not take. What is the number? I think basically there's like I won't take minus 3.5. I usually try to stay away from, and I think it's 6.5 minus. If it's plus, it's a little bit different because of that hook number. But I've been burned so many times on team needs to win by 3.5 and they win by 3, or they need to win by a touchdown and a field goal, and it's just a touchdown. So it's like this is one of those situations. Like even if I like the Saints, like 3.5 is way too much for me. Like I said, I don't think the Saints are beaten unless the Panthers are sitting their players. I don't think the Saints win, especially with the way Darnold's been playing. He's kind of playing for his job next year. He's played well enough to maybe earn it, but another finishing touch would be awesome. Bills, Patriots, I'm not going to lay the minus 280 on the money line. You won't see me touch this. 7's way too much for me personally, but honestly, the way it sounds, like I said, Damar Hamlin's doing a lot better. I just like this team solely to win for the fact that I think they're going to win for their guy, and they want the momentum for playoffs. And third crown, probably the best part, is they get to knock the Patriots out of the playoffs, who have been pesky rats for 20 years in that division, have just owned the division. I mean, you think the Patriots are dead, they're winning. Tom Brady owns it, and then he leaves. They still find a way. Like, this team is basically like the cockroach of the AFC, I feel like. That I thought they were dead 8 different times. Somehow they're still in this spot. So if this number gets anywhere, like especially live, if I can get the Bills live at some good value, I will. But other than that, I like the Bills. Maybe if you want to parlay something fun, Bills to score, or Jesus, Bills to win. Maybe Stephon Diggs to score, or like somebody else to score, and then I don't mind that over, but I would take an adjusted over to maybe like 38, 39 if you're going to parlay that. And I think that's not terrible, but I don't mind the over at 42, but it depends on the emotion of how this Bills team plays. This game, I think the Vikings should win. I'm just not going to touch because Justin Fields not playing, and so I don't want to touch the Bears, and I just don't see the Vikings getting any value at all throughout the day. I mean, I won't lie, minus 7.5 and 104, that's not bad. Especially week 18 at the end of the year, I'm not going to take anything that's probably above like 3. If a team like favored by like 2 or 3, just like I said, just because like for example, the Vikings could be up 14-0 or 21-0, sit their guys, and then they get 2 backdoor touchdowns, they win by 6. And they still win. So they still did their job sitting their guys, but the backups didn't do their job. So it's just, that comes to a situation like this. Like, I don't want to lay 14 with the Eagles, and then the Giants play their guys for a half, keep it close, and then the Eagles just only win by like 13-10, something like that. So yeah, I'm just probably going to stay away from here. This game, very similar situation. I like the Bengals. AFC North, I don't think they're going to win by 7, so I would lean Ravens. I'm trying to think of like some good tease action if you want to get like nasty, like maybe a nice little. We'll do one live real quick so far. Just to say, and like I do like the Dolphins, and we're just gonna throw the deck. Like if you do this 4-team teaser, ATC is plus 240. Ravens, you get them up to 13. Panthers have to lose by less than 10. Dolphins, you get to a touchdown. You get the Jags to a half. You can't see the here. Give me a second. You can't see the odds. As you can see, the odds are plus 240. So I mean, those aren't bad odds for like this. I mean, like even if you want to take like, for example, take them out, it's still plus 140. So this is something like, I won't lie, this is probably something I'm gonna lean towards. I might do a little bit of a teaser, just for fun, little fun teaser to end the week 18. But yeah, like Eagles Giants. If I hear anything about the Giants playing their players for a full game, I'm gonna take the 14. Just because that's way too much. I mean, the Eagles beat the Cowboys barely by 6. They had no offense against the Saints basically. But like I said, I don't know how they're playing their players, so we're gonna have to wait and see for that one. Seahawks Rams. I'm gobbling up the 6 and plus 225, like I said. But that's just personally for me. I just feel like this is I definitely do not recommend this to anyone, but this is just a game where I personally feel like, and it's just like I said, I don't think the NFL scripts games because I mean, it's one of the harder sports to, I would say, script. I mean, there's like little moments maybe yes here and there, but like I said, I'm not gonna get into all that. I don't think they script or anything, but if they were to script, I mean, the Rams. Also, another thing I forgot to add is Sean McVay, I think, has the Seahawks number. Like, since he's been there, like, I'm not 100% sure on this stat. I've read it somewhere, and I haven't been able to find it, but I think he has a pretty good record against the Seahawks. So it's not out of any character that he could win. So this is going to be something I'm going to bet on, personally. I love that plus 225. That's really good value, I think, for a team that potentially has a chance to win. Like I said, I think 6 is way too high. The Seahawks defense has been awful the second back half of the season, especially. I don't know if they've been worse in the run or pass, but it's just I just turn their games on. I feel like teams are just moving the ball casually on them, putting up like 8-9 play drives, and that's not going to get you to the playoffs. And I think their rush defense has been one of their biggest. Obviously, they need better pass rushers as well, but I think they've been struggling a little bit on the run game as of late, and Cam Akers has been turning up for the Rams. So we'll see. I mean, the same Rams team that I'm talking about now could be the one that shows up Sunday could be the same one that last week only scored 10 against the Chargers defense, who I think is a little bit better than the Seahawks. But like I said, I just like that number for the Rams. It feels like 6 is way too high. I feel like this is going to be a 3 to 5. I guess funny as it sounds, I don't see this being less than it. I see this being like definitely under 10, but I see this being about a touchdown score game at worst. Like anywhere from 5 to 1 is my guess. Chargers Broncos. I'm gonna take the Chargers money line here, just because like I said, I think they can. I'm gonna check this. I think they can play for a better seed, and I would think they want that seed. So the way the wild card works, the Chargers are 10-6. Yeah, I'm all over that line. I think the Chargers are going to win this game. If they lose, so this is like conspiracy theory, me thinking a little bit. So if say the Bengals somehow lose to the Ravens, they both will have the same record with 11. Well, one will be 11-6, one will be 11-5 due to the void game. But the way that would work, say the Chargers lose. The Chargers are 10-6, so they get bumped from being the 5 seed to they get the 6 seed, and the difference between that is you go from playing, and even so, yeah, they literally would go. They would go from playing. I guess this wouldn't be too bad for them regardless, but they go from playing. So if the season ended today, the Jags would play the Chargers because the Chargers are the 5 seed. That's 4-5. If the Chargers do not win this upcoming game against the Broncos, they potentially drop to the 6th seed. And they go from playing a Jaguars or Titans team that's not as good to potentially like a Bengals team or a Ravens team, which I'm pretty sure in that spot it would. Like, it's just like when you get to that point, I mean, like if you're picking teams to play against, like you probably would want to play the Jaguars over those two. So I'm going to assume that this team at least minimum plays their guys a half, and I really like the Chargers have a chance to win. 49ers, way too big of a spread. Cardinals, it's J.J. Watt's last game. I might, in honor of JJ, I might put a small sprinkle on the Cardinal spread, or JJ Watt to have a sack and do something. Because yeah, it's going to be JJ Watt's last game ever in a historic career. I'm going to do potentially a whole podcast in the summer over how inspirational JJ Watt was. Because growing up, like he was definitely like one of my favorite defensive linemen, and I think he was my favorite until Aaron Donald came along and they shared that title. But he was somebody I always loved looking up to, and I mean, in Division II, I was a Colts fan, so I watched him twice a year, and just to watch that dude play games, it was something special. So like I said, we'll see with that. Cowboys Commanders laying off, not taking. The only thing I'm going to take in this game is Zeke to score. Zeke is NBA Jam rules. I don't know how long they're going to play their players, but I think they have a chance to win the division. I think the Cowboys win the division if they win and the Eagles lose. So I'm going to take Zeke to score, Cowboys to win. Something like that, like not if they're parlay, but I'm definitely going to take those two things because I like that. And Sunday night, like I said, I'm over Packers. I'm probably going to wait for the odds to get a little bit better for them. But the score, I'm going to take the 2 running backs from Green Bay, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones. Lions gave up 323 rushing just 2-3 weeks ago to the Panthers. So I just don't see how Aaron Jones and how hot this Packers team is. I don't see how Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon don't just run all over them if they get the chance to. And then for the Lions... I don't know. I don't want to give out too many touchdown scores this week because I just don't know how many people are going to be playing for how long. And assuming the Lions might not have anything to play for if the Seahawks lose. Definitely wait for these odds to get better because the way the pack, you can usually get these. I won't lie, you'll probably miss out on one touchdown potentially, but you can usually get one of these 2 and plus money about a quarter into the game or so, or at least get better odds. Maybe Christian Watson scored a deep shot. He didn't score last week, so that'll be interesting. But I think for the Lions, I'm probably going to take Amon Ra because he didn't score last week and kind of like Jamal Williams. But yeah, that's all I'm going for in this week in the NFL. Can't really, I won't lie to you, can't really repeat it because I kind of went over a lot and I had some distractions setting stuff up and with my mouse dying and getting texts and everything. So a little bit all over the place this episode, but I think I got most of the stuff in. We're going to do a fun teaser to end it. I'm just going to do a lot of the teams that I would like that I'm probably going to bet on. Just see how big, I just want to see how big it can get. Do I recommend this? Maybe. We'll have to see. Can definitely get that down. I'm just trying to add teams to see how I'm just trying to add teams to see how big we can get this because I am just very curious. So if I did so this is 11 team teaser, the teams I kind of would want to bet on, or I'm probably going to end up betting on, like, the game-wise. So you see this 11, like, we'll make this, because these odds are huge. So there's no shot I take an 11 leg teaser. But if you really want to, so if you get to if you had 9.5 points, you get it to plus 800. And here are the numbers you're looking at. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to take it, but originally, like, I'm just playing with numbers. Like, if you make it an 8-point, it's plus 1100, and here are the numbers. Like, this honestly probably is not a bad teaser week with how big of the. So my final recommendation probably is just with how big some of the numbers are. Like, this might not be a bad teaser week. I don't know if I'm gonna do an 11-team teaser like I just showed you there. I mean, you can get some decent odds to get, but also you're hoping 11 games go your way in the NFL. And let's be honest, that's really hard to do. But overall, that's what I'm thinking for going into that week. Like I said, going into next week, this is going to basically become a betting show for the rest of the year. Until baseball season, then I'll figure out what we're going to do there. But basically, that's what I like for this week. Going into next week, we'll have a normal pod episode. But since it'll be playoffs, I'm going to focus more on the playoff teams and the playoffs that happen. So I'll briefly go over last week, but for most part, it's just going to be focusing on what's upcoming this week. And yeah, for my last bet, I'll talk about college football playoffs. If you've been around me, this number's already dropped to 12. I got it at 13.5. It's going to drop probably a little bit more by Monday. I just want to see a number. I mean, I usually bet about $10 on a game. That's the usual unit. Like about $10. Some games will go 2.5 to 25, and then for like the parlays and props for people to score, I usually drop it to 10, drop it to 5. So that way, like I'm actually like the real money I'm trying to win is a lot more focused on the money lines and spreads, and then I can have fun with the props and everything. But TCU has made me a lot of money this year. This is a game like I already have, I think like 30 or 40 on TCU plus 13, and probably a little bit more on the money line just for fun. This is definitely me being totally biased, but TCU has been a really good team all year. All they've done is come back, win, and the only thing that scares me about this game is I am scared about the 3-3-5 stack versus the 2 tight end look that Georgia can do, because 2 tight ends, if they can get the edge especially, they can ruin that 3-3-5 stack and mess it up. But so it's really going to be interesting for this game. Check on Washington for Georgia. He's one of their tight ends. If he's hurt, and the TCU only has to focus on Brock Bowers, not worry about both of them, that's going to go a really, really long way. But, I mean, you saw how Ohio State did against Georgia. Obviously, TCU doesn't have as much talent as Ohio State does, but they have a decently good air attack, and the one way to beat Georgia is they're going to have to throw the ball down the field, and they're going to have to get effective big plays down the field, and that's something TCU was one of the best, if not the best in the nation at. So, really, really exciting week. I can't wait to see you guys all again Tuesday. Back to normal for everything on Tuesday, and yeah, hopefully we'll be talking about the National Championship Horned Frogs, and we'll be getting into some juicy NFL playoffs.